Hello, welcome to this your channel of the Better Eurofan, that's me. After hosting the last year's contest on the city of Turin, with singers Mahmoud and Blanco as hosts, which offered to us a heartfelt ballad which placed them in 6th in the final ranking, Italy keeps going on its golden age in the competition. And that is because the Italian entries have that particular and typical magic, which offers to us musical treasures that always transcends far beyond the contest. We will see now who will be the next artist, quite familiar to many, in charge of carrying the Italian colors on the main stage of Liverpool. Here we go. For today's episode, I'm going to review the Italian entry for Eurovision 2023, which will be represented by singer Marco Mengoni with the song Due Vite, which in English translates as Two Lives. We start by giving a brief review of his biography and career, who is repeating the Eurovision experience just 10 years later. Marco Mengoni is an Italian pop singer and songwriter, coming from the town of Ronciglione in central Italy. Being a teenager when he was studying industrial design at secondary school, he started to take singing classes. After finishing high school, he moved to Rome to study a degree in languages at college. During his college life, he occasionally worked as a barman, and he performed in piano bars and during weddings. At the same time, he had his first experiences in the musical industry, working as a sound mixer and as a music programmer. Artistically speaking, he cites the Beatles, David Bowie, Michael Jackson and Renato Zero among his musical influences. His musical career will begin in 2009 with his participation on the third season of the Italian version of The X Factor. During the season, he performed songs in a wide variety of musical genres, which earned him the admiration of many popular singers in the Italian musical scene. Marco would advance by all the stages of the competition, being proclaimed the winner of the season, gaining with his victory a record deal with one of the biggest record labels worldwide, and also being automatically selected as one of the participants of the Sanremo Music Festival for the following year. At the end of that same year, he would release his first EP, in which many of the songs he performed during the competition were included, and as well his original winning song. In 2010, he would participate in the Sanremo Music Festival in the Mid Artist category, placing third in the final night, being one of the super finalists with the song Credimi Ancora. This song will also be included in his second EP released that same year, promoted with an extensive tour by all Italy, which will mean his recognition as an artist, having also received many musical awards, including the awards for Best Italian Act and Best European Act at the MTV Europe Music Awards. His debut studio album will be released in 2011, mostly in the pop genre with influences of rock and electronic music, also promoted as well with a nationwide tour. In 2013, he will move to Milan, and he will participate for the second time in the Sanremo Music Festival, competing with two songs, L'essenziale and Bellissimo, which will be released in his second studio album sometime later. In the first night, the first song will win ahead the second one after the press jury vote, becoming the song he will perform in the remaining shows. In the final show, Marco was declared the winner of the musical festival, achieving the Golden Lion. At the same time, his winning song was selected to represent Italy at Eurovision in the edition held that year in Malmö, Sweden. It was the first time in a long time, since Italy returned to the contest 2 years earlier, that would participate with the winning song of Sanremo Music Festival. In addition, as usually happens with Italian entries, songs go through various rounds to adjust its length to the regulatory 3 minutes to compete at the contest, and Marco's song went into that process as well. He had a very remarkable result at the contest, achieving the 7th place in the final ranking, although After his participation, he said that his Eurovision experience left him a little astonished and that he will compete again without a second thought. Just 1 year later, he would also release the Spanish version of this song named Incomparable. In the following years, he will move forward with his musical career, releasing 3 more studio albums. And following the tradition of many Italian artists like Laura Pausini, Eros Ramazzotti or Tiziano Ferro, he will also release them in the Spanish version for the Hispanic market. In the other hand, repeating the same feat of 5 years ago, in 2015 he will win again the awards for Best Italian Act and Best European Act at the MTV Euro Music Awards, confirming once again his recognition as an artist. Then later he will release a project with a trilogy of albums, releasing the first one by late 2021, the second one by late last year, and probably the third one will be released at the end of this year. But before releasing this third album of this trilogy project, he will participate one more time in the Sanremo Music Festival with one of the songs of the second album of the trilogy. Let's take a look at what was the result of his third participation. As usual, the Italian public broadcaster went on to organize what it went to be the 73rd edition of their mythical Sanremo Music Festival, which also serves as national final, to pick the Italian representative that will travel to Liverpool. Similar to last edition, there will be artists in the categories of emerging artists and big artists. In the emerging artists category, 12 of them, which were selected among 549 proposals, competed for 6 spots in the musical festival in previous shows broadcasted in mid-December of last year. While in the big artists category, the broadcaster selected 22 artists from over 300 proposals received. Then a total of 28 artists will take part in the festival. Marco will participate once again as in the previous times in the big artists category, following the same format used at the festival. The votes for the press jury, the demoscopic jury and the televote will be registered in each show, which then combined will assemble the general ranking in the final show, where the top 5 will qualify to the super final, performing their entries once again, and enable a final round of voting which will select the winner of the musical festival. Marco will make his first appearance in the first show, becoming the big favorite to win, as he remained in the top position in each one of the shows, while the official music video went viral in the country after its official release. Then in the final show, Marco qualifies to the super final with other 4 finalists, performing his song once again for the final round of voting. At the end of the show, the predictions were confirmed, with Marco having the highest number of votes unanimously, earning the Golden Lion for the second time. Shortly after his victory in the musical festival, following the usual dynamic, the broadcaster proposed him to be selected as the Italian representative at Eurovision, which he accepted without any doubt. But he will also reveal that he was not sure of competing with his winning song or with a different one. He said this due to the fact that the song will need to be shortened to adjust its length to the regulatory 3 minutes, and he had faced that same dilemma 10 years before. 1 month later, Marco himself will confirm his participation with his winning song, going through the revamp process prior to his performance on the main stage of Liverpool. An authentic masterpiece what he is gifting us this time. Now here comes the analysis according to what he has presented in his proposal. The melody is a pop ballad with orchestra arrangements mostly in the chorus. It's calm during the verses, getting hectic as love and it reaches the chorus, like holding tensions, and later releasing all its power. Vocally speaking, it's a song that showcases all of the vocal skills of Marco, from the lowest to the highest keys. Marco himself has commented that he got inspired in the Italian singer and songwriter Lucio Dalla for the vocal structure of the song. Little breath, lots of words and a lot of tension to then later explode. Talking about the lyrics, Marco explains the context behind the composition of the song. It is my never-ending story because it is the story of a relationship between the racial and the unconscious. I'm devoting a lot of hours a week to my talks with a professor professional, and now realizing that my unconscious gives me more realistic input than my everyday life. In the song I'll talk about this double life, the life of the night and the dreams that become more real than the dreams themselves, and the life I live every day. I am a sinner, one who makes mistakes. There are slaps and you have to go on in life. There are moments of boredom and downsides that are needed in the end, like all things. Seeing it this way, it talks about a very complex subject, which is not too easy to analyze and understand. It's about the mysteries of how our mind works, referred to the conscious self and the unconscious self. However, I will not analyze this in more detail, as these are subjects in the fields of the psychology and psychoanalysis, and it will not be right to talk about topics in which I do not have the enough knowledge. Reading the lyrics in detail, previously translated at first, you will initially think that it talks about the lives of two people that have ended a love relationship, and that after the breakup there are feelings of remorse, nostalgia, tension, and regret. But when you take into account the background of the song explained by Marco before, the perspective of the song changes completely, and you can figure it out all those things he said in a metaphorical and poetical way. With the previous background, it's hard to say if there is any specific message transmitted into the song, and maybe it's not needed to understand what it means, but simply looks for the listener to get immersed in their universe of emotions, leaving behind the reality of the normal life at least for a while. Before analyzing the official music video made for this proposal, got to remark that, as I have said previously, it was released with the original version of the song during the first show of the Sanremo Music Festival. Even with the revamp made for the Eurovision edit, the music video has remained the same, as it will not vary too much in the production and editing, keeping in this case the essence of the original composition. The plot begins with a pair of brilliant spheres flying, while Marco is appear at the same time in a distant shot as he performs the first verse in the middle of a desert, matching with the first words of the verse. The shots, which appear in black and white at the beginning, are alternating frequently, some of them with close-ups of him, and other ones with wider shots at the desert and the sky that is partially cloudy. In the first chorus, the brilliant spheres are seen again, flying over Marco as he walks by the desert. I guess these spheres represent these two lives, the ratio and the unconscious, which are together but not mix. Towards the second verse, the shots are no longer in black and white, and now these are in full color, although however the difference is not really that noticeable. Dynamics remain mostly the same, until the second chorus, in which you can see a particular shot, what it seems to be the moon or the sun because of how bright it is, divides in two, certainly in allusion to the first words of the chorus in which the moon explodes. I can understand this as an additional metaphor of the two lives we have in our minds. During the bridge, the peaking moment is reaching, and you can notice it with the intensity and the emotion perceived from him in that part of the song. Then thereafter reaching to the climax in the final chorus and releasing all that tension inside of it. The music video finishes with a distant shot of Marco very similar to the beginning, and then finishing the performance. Making a summary of all the comments, the Italian entry for this year is an absolute masterpiece. Italian entries never disappoint. These are songs that bring you a lot of feelings that really moves you and give you a listening experience as they know how to do very well. It is also a proof of what Marco has showcased as an artist during his musical career. But will he improve his record from 10 years ago? It will be a matter of time to know if he amazes the audience once again. Recalling the staging in the musical festival, this was simple but effective. Just him on the stage with discreet spotlights and joined by the orchestra, and he does not need anything else. In this kind of performances, the focus is fundamentally in his vocal performance and the energy he transmits, and it was because of this performance that he suddenly became the big favorite from the very first moment he performed his song live. which will be turned out thereafter in his victory. For the staging in Liverpool, it is wondered if he will follow the same simplistic performance from the musical festival, or if he will do something more elaborated. In any way, I'm sure he will make a flawless performance, and he will move you a lot when he gets the turn once again to get on the main stage. And you, what do you think about the Italian entry for this year? Leave your comments down below so we can keep making discussion. And this is it for today's episode. Finishing for now, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, enable notifications to be aware of my upcoming reviews, and follow me through my social media. Take care and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.